sorry for the crazy day. Need a motion to accept the minutes of February 27 tourism meeting. Mr. Dickinson, Ms. Frazier, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. All right. We're going to move right into Joanne.
Okay. I don't have any business items on the agenda today, so I just have some updates from the department, from Tanya, and from the CBD on things that are going on. So some really good things that are happening. So at this point in the year, it's the end of March. We're at the top of the vacation planning funnel, so people are thinking about and they're dreaming about vacation. So that's where we are in our, in our advertising and our marketing stage of the game. So the ads that we're running now are geared towards Plan for Vacation. So it just happens to be that something dropped in our lap called Money Magazine. So it was time.com/Money Magazine that selected the Lake George area to be on their top 20 destinations for 2018. So Mayor Blaze mentioned this a few weeks ago to me, and we went and looked it up when we got back to the office. And I don't think it was often the media will come to us and they're looking for the best beach or the best this or the best that. But I think that Time and Money, in conjunction with Lonely Planet, had done some research on best destinations in the U.S. So it was 10 U.S. and 10 international, and they selected the Lake George area. Mayor Blaze seems to think that he might know someone who had visited that worked with Time Magazine. So the Lake George area is in Time Magazine, circulation 2 million, and also on the Time website. So we are going to take full advantage of that. It can't hurt to have Anthony Bourdain, on the cover of the magazine, and you're included in that. So to that end, this graphic that you see here, the best in Money Magazine, they call that an accolade. So we reached out to Money Magazine, can we use that to our benefit? I mean, for the entire year of 2018, this is like PR that you can't buy. So we just entered into an agreement with them, and we are going to have it on our website. So Ad Workshop is working on that right now. It'll be on our home page, and it'll be kind of like an overlay on the home page and then on the footer of every page after that. And we'll also have it, our travel guide is already in print, but we'll have a label printed, and we have some volunteers that we work with. Oh, and I just moved fast. I just wanted to show, what did I do wrong?
Let's go down the corner.
Internet, no.
The green one.
I just wanted to show you what it would look like on, sorry, this was supposed to be effortless. Joanne, Money, and the next one, the travel guide, there we go. So just that little sticker right there, we'll put that on. Many of our travel guides are out already, they're on the Thruway, but not all of them, certainly. So anything that we send out in the mail or that we're able to distribute, within our region, we'll get that label on. So it can't hurt but to work in our favor. So I know that everyone is very excited about that across the Lake George area. It bodes well for all of us. And to that end, Eric in our office wrote a little blurb about it, an article, a blog that lives on our website, and we promoted that on Facebook for the past month. The reach has been 1.6 million. The likes are 17,000. The shares are 3,800. The comments 3,400. And number of times people clicked the link on social media to go back to our website 37,000 times. So it's really gaining a lot of traction, and we'll continue to use that throughout the summer. So we're very excited about that, as everyone is. Another good news award that the department has gotten, if you were on the committee last year or any of you have seen our summer television commercial for 2017, we did receive an ADDie award for that, the American Advertising Association. So that was a new commercial. We hadn't had a new summer commercial in about 3 years. So we had combined a couple of contracts 2 years ago, our film, our videography, and our production house. So they did a brand new summer commercial last year. This year we'll introduce our new fall commercial. And this summer, right now, they're working on those little video snippets that I had mentioned in our first meeting. So that's nice to know that, you know, we've done a good job with that. We work with Working Pictures. We suggest the scenarios and the locations that we'd like them to go out and film. We go with them on the video shoots. Peter and I go down to their office and we look at the kind of film and footage that they have and the music that goes behind it. You don't think about all of that, but there's a lot that goes on behind it. So it was a good feeling to know that we were recognized for that. What other things that are going on? Work that we do with our partners. I Love New York has a promotion right now that takes place during that March Madness bracket basketball tournament, and they have a bracket competition, but instead of basketball, it's the 16 top mini destinations around New York State. So within within Warren County, they only selected one property, and that was the Sagamore Hotel, and they did choose that property. And now we're in week 4, so we're down to the last 2 properties that can be voted on, and the Sagamore and one other family park have made it to the final competition. So I think that it's probably going to be the Sagamore as the winner. So anytime you can get, you know, the backing and the support and the outreach that goes along with I Love New York, the better for all of us here. So go to social media, go to the I Love New York page, and you can vote for the Sagamore. Also associated with that, there's a grand prize giveaway, and the Sagamore did offer an overnight to the winner on that contest. Another thing that we're doing with our partners within the Adirondacks, Adirondack Day in Albany is on April 16th, and it's an effort to get the word out to our legislators in Albany about all of the wonderful things in the Adirondacks, whether it's tourism, arts and culture, industry, education. Matt Simpson's not here. I know that he'll be down there that day. I happen to be working with Bill Farber over in Hamilton County, and Hamilton County had applied for a grant, a Smart Growth grant, for cycling in the Southwoods section of the Adirondack Park. So they got a grant for $60,000. But the idea is to move beyond just Hamilton County and expand that to all of the Adirondacks. So one of the focuses that day will be on cycling and other recreational opportunities within the Adirondacks. So we'll have some bicycles down there. We'll have some folks from the Warren County Safe and Quality Bicycling group down there advocating for cycling. We'll have maps and we'll have a nice display. And just talk with the legislators as they're walking through the LOB that day about the concerns that we have in Warren County and how can they advocate for us. So that's just another thing that, you know, we're always working with our state partners or our Adirondack partners. But those are important connections to have. In terms of updating, we've been, as you know, working closely with the TVB. Kristen is going to give you an overview of her recent visit to Vance. But a couple of things, I think Supervisor Wild, who's not with us today, asked for, you know, just a list of things that we're doing to work together, which, you know, seems easy to me, but I just bulleted some things that we will be working with. Certainly there's a monthly meeting, and if not more than that, just to sit down and, you know, say, hey, what's going on over here, what's going on over there. We'll do a little bit of co-branding. So the CVB will use our Lake George area logo, at the top of the travel guide logo, and then underneath it will be Lake George Area Convention and Visitors Bureau. So moving away from the Lake George Chamber of Commerce to be more associated with the Lake George area and Warren County. And just to keep that same branding message out there, we'll be working to populate the meetings page on our website, so it's visitlakegeorge.com/meetings, and we'll work with Kristen and maybe some of her staff to populate those pages. Then they won't have to go through the added expense of adding pages or creating a new website of their own. They're sharing some software with us, Simple View and an event calculator. The Smith Trend reports that the committee receives, they were going to subscribe to, but I did ask permission, can we share with the CBB? Excuse me, and that was approved, so I'll share those reports and save them a couple of dollars there. And anytime there's a chance or an opportunity to share photography or video assets or marketing or promotion, we'll always be having that give and take and back and forth. Supervisor Wild stopped into the office earlier this week, so again, he's out with today and unable to be here, but he wanted to know what the goals were for the new position we're adding to the department, so our assistant tourism coordinator. I had distributed the job description, which can be very flexible depending on the strengths of that individual person and the needs of the department. But really, when it comes right down to it, I bulleted a couple of things, or 4 or 5 things, that I would be looking for in that individual. You know, I keep mentioning our connection with the state and with the region, and I can use someone to help me with that a little bit more. So the gal that was in this position before absolutely did that all the time. So in terms of PR, anytime there's outreach or queries from the media, the matching funds application that is open on my desk right now, I have to get a report for 2017. Someone to work with me on all of that. We'd like this person to be a liaison with the community. Not an event organizer per se, but someone to work with the town and say, you know, hey, we've got an event we'd like to coordinate, this is how you go about doing it, maybe, you know, there's a blueprint for another event that's taken place, so you don't have to recreate the wheel. When should I have this event? How can I, you know, what types of funding might be available to me? So for that person to be out and about in the community, I think would benefit all of us and the individual towns as well. I would like that individual to work with me again on those analytics, travel trends, industry metrics. It can all be fascinating, but it's very time consuming. So someone to work with me on that. Social media, we did not renew our trampoline contracts this year, thinking that we had those two folks in the office. So Eric in our office has been doing a lot of that. I've been doing a little bit. Tanya, everyone does a little bit, but I would like that person to do more and work with Eric on social media. And just be that person that knows day to day in the office how to do just about anything that goes on, so that if someone is out for any period of time or a week on vacation, that we don't skip a beat and they just have good working knowledge of what's going on in the office. In terms of that position, we accepted applications until Monday. We do have 25 applicants. So that's a good thing, and we'll start reviewing them now and setting up some interviews for the next couple of weeks or so. So I think that's most of what I have.
Anybody have any questions for Joanne? All right. Well, Joanne, you didn't mention, too, we had a meeting with Kathy Munsell and John Carr for about an hour and a half a couple of weeks ago. Very productive meeting. Kind of went over some little tension things that were occurring, and I think it worked out really well. And we have another one set up again for next month, early next month, because Joanne was away for a week this
Peter's
week.
on vacation now, too.
All right.
I did not mention the STR, which I did send the report to our committee here, but I will just say that January was up and February was up considerably. The month of February, in and of itself, was up 5.8%. And we all recognize it's the branded hotels, and as we move into the summer months, there'll be other things that come into that, the day trippers, the campers, the properties that are not part of STR. But I feel like it's a good indication of things to come. I just feel like there's a lot of positive momentum right now. Good things are happening, so I'm optimistic for a good summer season.
No, Mr. Treasurer, if you wanted to give that quick report on the,
Oh, okay.
this way you don't have to sit here all, what's that?
I said I thought you were gonna do that in occupancy tax, but I'm...
Well, we could do that if you want, but there's some new people here, some people might not be at the other one.
I'll do that right now real quick, if you just want to move these down through, I'd appreciate it. Occupancy tax, total collections as of, yesterday was $4,331,652 for all of 2017. That's up 3.757% from 2016. So it's an increase of $163,000, which is great news. Beyond that, we have, for the period of collection from the difference between 328.17 and 328.18, we're up 4.9%, which is almost 5%, which reflects, Joanne, exactly what you were saying, February.
February was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, 5% up in occupancy tax this time of year is usually we're down. So, it's excellent.
Thank you.
Somebody's doing something, plus the weather was good.
Yeah, well, we got snow, it helps us in the
Yeah,
winter.
the ski areas and the winter carnival and, yeah, all kinds of, lots of good
Yeah,
things.
those ice bars are doing well, a couple other programs, but the winter carnival really put it out of the park this year. All right, Joanne, you're finished, we'll go to Tanya.
I did hand out my 2018 marketing plan. I know Ed wasn't here, Dennis, you weren't here, so if you guys wanted to take a quick look at that, at your convenience, if you have any questions about it, certainly you can stop into the office or email me. So my report is relative to, because in the marketing plan, group travel shows are a really important part of what I do. Just like Kristen is out pounding the pavement all year long promoting the area to special events and sports, I am doing the same for Motor Coaching International. So starting January 1, I've done a show every month. So I just wanted to kind of recap what those shows are like. The first one is probably the biggest domestic show that I do, and it's called American Bus Association Marketplace. That took place in Charlotte this year. There's really two components to the show. You can see there's a picture on the screen, and that's our booth, and that's just a few of the local contingency that went to the show, but there were others that were there, and I can list those once I get in a little further here. But then there's also a business floor. So this is the exhibit floor where tour operators can come and visit you if they don't have an appointment with you, or they just want to network, or they have a question. But and then there's the this is the actual business floor. So you can see here, this is actually a DMO, a destination marketing organization. We all have our appointments on the same day. So this guy did his homework, and this person did their homework before we went to the show, and we requested each other based on the potential for them to bring us business, whether or not they have an itinerary, just if we know that they haven't been in a while. So we choose each other. So we do 7-minute appointments. We do them all in one day. I think I got a little less than last year, 39 pre-selected appointments, but we garnered 75 additional ones at the booth. So it's really important to have that booth on the floor. And it gives us somewhere for the local contingency to meet and have like a home base. With me was Queensbury Hotel, Surfside on the Lake, the Georgian Resort, Lake George Steamboat Company, the Clarion Inn, Fort Ticonderoga, Saratoga CVB, the Wild Center, the Adirondack Coast, which is Clinton County, and Adirondack Receptive Services. So a really good show. It is every year for us. A lot of networking goes on. And then when I get back from the show, and I didn't hand these out, but this is just a sample of what the leads look like. And you'll see there's a synopsis of what the show is about. I'm pretty direct on my notes, whether or not it was a good appointment or not. But within that 7 minutes, you're trying to get as much information as you can, because these leads are then disseminated to the group properties out there that want those leads. So I try to get as much information as I can. You know, what properties are you currently utilizing? Are you happy there? Do you have an itinerary? Did you come to us last year? There's a lot of back and forth that goes on in those 7 minutes. So moving on to February, I did Heartland Travel Showcase, which is very similar to ABA. just smaller, and it's located in the Midwest. So this is actually a typical row of booths where the tour operators can spend their time when they're not doing appointments. Oops. This is our Florida sales mission. I want to see if I included. No, I didn't put it on. But Heartland is very similar to ABA. It's just a little smaller, and it was held in Buffalo this year, so there was a really great contingency of New Yorkers. Locally, we only have the Georgian Resort and Stony Creek Ranch attended, but I was glad to see them there to have some representation for our lodging. We conducted about 25 appointments there. And because those companies are coming from further away, from the Midwest, my pitch was really not just the Lake George area, it was really the region. They're going to travel longer, they're going to stay longer, they're going to see and do more things. So really the pitch was the Adirondack region. And there typically isn't an Adirondack representative doing these shows, so I kind of wear that hat as well. Next was the Florida sales mission, and this was the first year I did this one. I Love New York. It had 16 suppliers that we rode in Academy bus all around Florida. We started in Miami and ended up in Orlando. Why are we in Florida? Because besides New York City, Miami and Orlando are the biggest gateway cities for international travelers. So we personally went to the tour operators' offices, and we each gave our pitch. Each stop was about 2 hours long. We also had a tour operator breakfast. But out of those 12 offices, only about 2 of them really knew the Adirondack region well enough to say, call out some names like Lake Placid or Lake George. So there's work to be done on the international marketing side. But we are going to work on that. We have 2 FAMs coming up. One is going to be an international blogger FAM. The actual conference is taking place out in the Finger Lakes, and then they're going to choose a handful of those bloggers to come up and do a FAM tour in the Adirondack region. We also have an IPW International Powwow post-FAM where we're going to have 7 Chinese tour operators that are going to come up and do, again, another regional FAM after IPW. So we're working on that international market along with the domestic side.
Anybody got any questions
Any
for Ken?
questions?
All right. Kristen, you want to, I know you got a longer thing, you want to do it? Go ahead.
I'm going to try to enter your address. Am I not yet entering now?
Nope, you can't, because it doesn't work. Sean's not me.
Just try that.
Okay, this one, try this one.
Yeah, get her activated.
You want to read it?
Well, geez, wait a minute. 20
Me to read it?
personnel meeting today. 20 hours.
And then I'll
HTTPS.
Okay.
So, in the meantime, we're waiting for the technical side of things
Good talker.
to come together. Hopefully it'll work. It's a video from Vance that's put together. But in the meantime, we'll just start forward here. I realize that everybody is running a little behind, but still want to share with you some of the outcomes for the last month. I sent out yesterday the report, which you should have all gotten a copy of. Is also one that I distributed here to give you an idea. In the last month, there were 9 leads that were distributed out for a total of 7,465 new room nights. We booked 3 new events for a total of 653 new room nights. And since January overall, I've booked 5 new events year to date, totaling 2,572 new room nights for the region year to date. I'm also working on repeat room business with a couple of folks that have come to us in the last couple of years. Last year, our new event, Hemmings Concours d'Elegance, was here, so working with them, bringing back another 200 plus room nights. Northeast Barbershop Quartet, another 150. Primetime Lacrosse and Trilogy Lacrosse, both are growing exponentially, actually. We're looking roughly around 1,200, 1,500 new room nights for those as well. So these sports events also are really starting to explode. One of the ways in which the CDB will provide some convention services for some of these larger scale events is also specifically the sporting events, which we're going to be looking to do a dine-around list, which we'll be providing to the teams ahead of time. We'll be reaching out to local businesses and restaurateurs to see who would like to participate. This is new for us for this year. A lot of these teams like to go out and go together, so that's the way we're going to be reaching back out to the businesses, working with them, and making sure that the restaurants and businesses in the area know that these numbers of people and students and families are coming, so that they're not bombarded, particularly in our summer months. A lot of these lacrosse and soccer tournaments happen. There's nothing worse than having a restaurateur on Friday night have 2 or 3 groups of 25 to 30 teams showing up. So this is a way for us to proactively get these lists out to them, know ahead of time, allow them to be able to staff, get enough food preparation ready to go. So we'll be working on that in terms of our convention services. Looking at the numbers as well, we lost, unfortunately, 3 events, equaling a loss of about 1,060 room nights. Family Travel Association was lost as a result of too many discussions being lost by the event manager, and then the properties, frankly, it was too big of an event, and the concessions were just too much. So when they ask concessions, if you don't know what that means really, is they're asking for a lot of things for free. Basically, too many things for free for this particular event. So that did not work out for us. And then 2 of the events that I was working on the last couple of months, the field hockey, unfortunately, decided not to come to us this year. They will be looking to work with us, hopefully, for 2019. And actually, I'm looking to set up a meeting with their organizer, who I met last year, again, at NESC when I go out there in Minneapolis in a couple of weeks. In terms of convention services, we were fairly active as well this past month. And for those that aren't exactly sure what our convention services offer, we support either through marketing PR, through our social media channels, welcome bags, itinerary assistance, or just local contact facilitation, for example, with DEC for a TRP, or some of these other types of services. So that's a way in which, our office, myself, and the folks in our office provide convention services. That's what that really means. We're here to make sure that the event managers and the attendees have the best experience possible, and to encourage repeat business. It's about going that extra mile and providing the exceptional customer service that makes a difference. Now on to the Adventure Travel Trade Association, the Elevate Conference. I was out there with Amanda Metzger from our office, as well as Laura DeBetta from DEC, Department of Environmental Conservation. We were out there for about 3 to 4 days, and we were there in Banff, where we presented as the luncheon sponsors. We presented approximately 300 attendees at this event on March 15th, and I don't know if, hopefully this may work, but we produced a video in conjunction. We had the intros from I Love New York and DEC, and then the secondary part of that was actually, I wrote and produced the second half relating specifically and focused on our area and our region. So hopefully that will play if we can get it to work. Let's just play it at the actual luncheon.
Hello, Adventure Travelers, and everyone attending this year's Adventure Elevate Conference. Welcome to Banff, the beautiful Canadian Rockies, or as we New Yorkers like to call them, the Adirondacks of the North. I'm Val Segos, and I'm the Commissioner of the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. On behalf of Governor Andrew Cuomo, the great state of New York, we look forward to welcoming you next year to Lake George for the 2019 Adventure Elevate Conference. We know you're going to have an amazing time. With over 200 state parks and national parks on nearly 5 million acres, New York has more public lands for outdoor enjoyment than any other state in the nation. Many of these lands serve as gateways to large recreation areas where travelers can enjoy everything from fishing, swimming, biking, and hiking. It's the Department of Environmental Conservation's charge to protect these places so people can enjoy the state's great outdoors for many years to come. Since 2011, Governor Cuomo has made protecting New York's environment a top priority, with billions invested in parks, open spaces, clean energy, and water protection. One of the most exciting programs is Adventure New York, a $50 million program to enhance access to state lands, rehabilitate and improve campgrounds, and upgrade state-owned recreational facilities. Outdoor recreation is an important part of our state's rich heritage, stretching all the way back to the days of Teddy Roosevelt, and we can't wait to share your estate in all this pleasure. To tell you all about the amazing things there are for you to do and see on your visit, here's Ross Levi, Executive Director of the New York State Division of Tourism, and I Love New York.
Thanks, Commissioner. We can't wait to welcome you to New York City. From glistening lakes and majestic mountaintops to hidden waterfalls, and miles of Atlantic coastline, New York's unique and plentiful outdoor landscape has an outdoor adventure for just about anyone. You might find yourself kayaking on the tranquil river in the Catskills, or hiking one of the 46 Adirondack peaks. Imagine scuba diving among shipwrecks in the Thousand Islands, or walking on the white sands of Long Island or floating around beaches. Bike through the picturesque Finger Lakes wine country, take a hot air balloon ride over Lexington State Park, or cruise the 200-year-old Erie Canal. Fans of extreme adventure can try rock climbing in the dumps, biking in Plattekill Mountain, or gliding down the longest and highest zipline canopy in North America at Hunter Mountain. Visitors travel to Lake Placid to try the bobsled, or ice skate on the Olympic speed skating. New York also boasts more ski areas than any other state in the nation, with over 50 true locations. We're excited for you, and you can see for yourself why we say, when it comes to New York, it's all here, it's home. See you in 2019.
The next piece is the one that we produced internally.
When summoned by the Queen and Prince, some have a duty not only to show, but to have fun. With a recreational area of more than 6 million acres, there's plenty of room to find adventure in New York's Adirondack Park and Lake George area. Once a year, there are so many things to do, including learning about the area's rich history. The Adirondack Park has been the scene of historic battles, with the siege of Fort William Henry made famous in James Fenimore Cooper's novel, The Last of the Mohegans. The authentic restoration of Fort William Henry rests on the southern shore of Lake George, and Fort Ticonderoga is located at the northern end. Both are steeped in the country's history and open to the public as living museums. Other historical options include the fine arts of the Hyde Collection in Glens Falls, along with museums in Lake George Village and Bolden Landing. Food aficionados and beer lovers can taste and sip the finest cuisine and some of the best craft beverages that the Adirondacks have to offer. And there's also unique transportation available. For those of you that still have energy to burn, there are lots of spots to heat up the night life, or just sit back and let nature entertain you. New York's Adirondacks are a dazzling sight to behold. Towering mountains and glistening waters combine to forge magnificent, untouched wilderness. And the best part? It's yours to explore. In New York's Adirondack Park and Lake George region, there is something for everyone.
Come to all of us and enjoy the view. Come explore the lake with us. Come live our history.
Come climb with us.
Come on with us.
Come ride with us. Come dine with us.
Come try our beer.
Join us next year at Adventure Elevate in New York. And come discover why it's all here. It's only here.
Very nice.
So as you can see, the video itself was compiled and we worked with our partners for the intros with DEC and with I Love New York. They are key partners right now for this event for us for next year. And so in addition to working with them on marketing efforts and PR, we also have the CFA grant that is being run through Market New York in support of this event. And there'll be a lot of other ways in which we'll be working with our state partners to really bring these 300 plus international tour operators and receptive tour operators and travel media to our area for next year. In addition to that, we also produced this teaser brochure, which I passed out to all 300 attendees and delegates. And really, it was also to give the media some story ideas, which we put in here as well. Day of Adventure, which the Day of Adventure is the first day of this event. And what we do there is you're able to go and experience basically experiential learning for all of the different products that are available out in the marketplace in the destination. So we produce these, and you'll see in the back we have our partners, the Town and Village of Lake George, which we receive some OCTAX money from, as well as county and DEC. So those are, again, different ways in which we're working in partnership to really have everyone come to the table and make this a great event for next year. Another part of the luncheon that we were able to do was provide some giveaway trips, and we worked with some additional partners, and they really didn't disappoint at all. We're very thankful to Adirondack Hamlets to Huts, which is a brand new business a little bit further north of us. We donated a 5-night, 4-day sampling of the North Creek to Indian Lake Hike and Paddle guided trek with lodging and meals. And then in addition, we also want to thank Adirondack Winery, Fort William Henry Museum and Resort, Adirondack Extreme, and Lake George Steamboat Company, who provided an overnight guest passes and tasting for create your own adventure itinerary. While I was, and what you'll see there, I also passed out there's the detail of those giveaways, as well as we also provided sample itineraries for all of the journalists and media that we met with. When Amanda and I were there, actually, I met with 12 journalists, including 2 from National Geographic Traveler, 1 from Outside Magazine, a producer from Epic Trails television series, the president of HikeBikeandTravel.com, Walking on Travel Magazine, and both Epic Trails and National Geographic Traveler right now are very interested in coming within the next year. In addition, I also met with 12 tour operators, including Inuska, Mountain Adventures, Wild Women Expeditions, OMOM Travel, Explorer Chick, Asante Travels, and Adventures in Good Company, all who are interested in coming again next year, as well as creating product. Tanya, you and I will definitely be talking much further on this to create some of that product and work together on those things for next year. Moving forward in the planning process, we'll be working on creating the local organizing committee and the steering committees, in addition with our partners with ADA, DEC, and I Love New York. So lots and lots of moving parts and pieces for this event. Certainly if you're looking to get involved with us in some way, shape, or form, working on a subcommittee, local organizing committee, certainly please let me know, because it will definitely take a lot of effort from a number of different parts and pieces. One final thing I wanted to mention is that this year the CVB is going to be launching its very first Adirondack Christkindl Mart event in cooperation with the Adirondack Folk School. It's the first of its kind, and it will take place December 7th through 9th in Festival Commons. I had a slideshow I was going to initially show, but I think we'll save that for the next meeting to go over in further detail. But basically what this is, for those who aren't familiar with that, it's a German-style Christmas market that is really more of a festival for the senses. Sights, sounds, the smells, the taste of the holiday season. We're going to be tying that into the Light of the Village event the first week of December, and then developing a week-long calendar to tie into all the different events and even smaller things that are going on during that week leading up to the 7th, where we'll have the kickoff of this event. We anticipate cross-promoting with existing events like the Shirt Factory's open house, and to make it really that whole experience of a regional celebration of the holidays. And again, we're looking to try and build into these shoulder seasons, for lack of a better word, and really put events in there that make a difference in our tourism economy in the region. So adding things like the Christkindl Mart, Adirondack Christkindl Mart in December, having the potential for the pond hockey in January, the February event for the Winter Carnival, adding all of these different pieces and components are really so critical, not just for the economy of Rose Hall, but for our hospitality partners to really bring in those heads and beds and give people a reason to come up in those other times and seasons. I was going to show you the logo, which I think I have here somewhere. Ah, there it is. Okay, so we did develop a logo, which looks like this, for our new event. So we do have a steering committee started, and we've been meeting the last couple of months. However, we are looking for additional assistance. If you're interested in serving with us on a subcommittee, whether it's for logistics, community outreach, promotion, marketing, any of your time is certainly appreciated. We certainly would love the help and the input. Our next meeting will be on April 12th at 8:30 at the chamber offices. But again, as I mentioned, while it will take place in Festival Commons, we are looking for that regional approach. So we will be working with the various towns and villages to have events. We'll sort of tie them into our calendar, and the overall overarching promotion that we do, which will be actually starting late spring, early summer, to attract those summer visitors and fall visitors that are already going to be here and give them a reason to come back. So overall, lots and lots of great new things going on in the CVB world, and more to come with the Crispina Mart and Out of Stuff and a lot of other things going on. So,
Anybody got any questions? All right. Thank you. We'll try not to rush you so much next time. I'm trying to do it, but I keep saying that it doesn't work.
Yes, sir.
All right. How about prisoners of the floor? Anybody want to make any comments? Yeah.
Lake George RV Park, just a comment and a question. The comment is just, I'm sure you're aware, on a meeting like today, when you schedule, it says to follow. I mean, I was here an hour and 45 minutes.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously schedule a different day, time.
Yeah, I was just discussing
I
that.
understand, I heard your frustration too. We've had this conversation before.
Well, we set them so far in advance, and then you don't know what happens
Yeah,
during
no,
the rest of, like, we had an executive session, which
Right.
took a while, and then that's what, yep.
No,
We don't
I mean,
know.
at the
We
time-
don't know what's gonna
He's
come up.
absolutely correct. This is ridiculous.
It is.
If you
I
don't
mean,
want
we're
people
here
to
now.
show up, that's okay. I mean, this will do it.
This is
But
ridiculous.
We want to show up. And we
Yep,
want to be
they should be scheduled separately, and you know,
We have to
we
schedule
need to
separate.
just, we're all here, and we got towns to run, and we've been here all day too, and I agree with you 100%. This is crazy.
Yeah.
And I think we're as frustrated as you are.
Yeah,
We
no,
are.
I understand that. And I'm not trying to pile on, but I'm just
No.
saying, if you want us to show up.
I, for one, share your pain.
Okay.
We all do. Well, we lost like 3 supervisors, they had
Oh,
other
yeah.
things to do. I'm
We
supposed to be
lost
out
our
of here
chairman.
by
We gotta look for him. Where's
12
Paul?
o'clock, so
That was
I'm,
the comment. The question is the Tourism Advisory Committee disband?
not really, we haven't really talked about it
Yeah, I
yet.
looked at my last meeting.
We're talking about it, we gotta maybe put a couple other people on and, work with some, but we're gonna be working on that.
Is there a reason offhand why you're disbanding?
We didn't disband it, it's just time. It's time, you know, all of us don't have the time sometimes. But, we're working on it. We'll get another answer before next, meeting. All right? All right.
If that's done the same time we get the schedule straightened out.
All right, with that, a motion to adjourn?
You don't adjourn, do we?
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
Adjourn from Octech, yeah.
Yep.
All right, all right, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Where'd Dennis go? He's,
I don't... All that...